Hey y'all, what's up? It's Champagne and V, ready to rock out every Thursday night on PharcydeTV. We are so looking forward to being part of the fam. Shout out to PharcydeTV for hosting Champagne and Conversations. You guys got to check it out.
Such a good thing, you know what I
Health
mean?
is wealth, Doug E. Fresh.
Oh
Health
man,
is wealth. What's up with you, son?
What's up,
What's up,
brother?
baby? You looking like $1 million over there in quarantine, kid.
Hey, look, man, if I had your hand, I'd cut mine off, baby.
Look at the king. Look at it. That's black excellence, everybody. Goddamn. Look at the king, the world's
Come on,
greatest.
man.
How
You
you
know
doing,
how we
kid?
two be.
What's
How you
good, man? I'm good, man. They got me over here. They got me over here with the ankle bracelet on, son. I can't go nowhere.
Oh,
You know what I mean? You know, I'm trying to do homework plus do my work plus try to, like you say, not drink too much and stay skinny and healthy. You know what I mean?
You looking good, though. I see that hat. What's that hat say, man?
That's just some old, Gorman Brothers. But I got my man right here, Frederick Douglass, today. You know, I've been working with Ben Crump a little bit on some of his stuff with the, situation in Georgia. And, we got to be freedom fighters kind of mindset. And I know that you are a freedom fighter. And a lot of people don't know that, you're a very serious political smart cat. You know what I mean? And you haven't been able to be here for so long without being so amazing. So, and I got your boy over here. Your boy, there's your boy.
I see him in the back. I see him in the back.
Y'all gotta hear some of Doug's Prince stories, some of the best stories in the world, yo.
Would that be one of your
I
crazy?
didn't even know you lived like that. Look at it, looking good back there, man. You looking good, boy.
You're good. And I got one of the joints too.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You ain't playing.
What's good, man? Where you at right now? You like in the Caribbean and shit? Like outside?
I wish I was. I'm the closest that I could get to the Caribbean, which is, the Florida state,
Okay.
Because the way it works for me is that I said that if I can go anywhere, I love LA, but if anywhere that reminds me of home, meaning Barbados, Trinidad, that kind of energy, Florida is the closest. But actually, to be quite honest with you, I got stuck in Florida because of the circumstances. You know what I mean? I was going back to New York because, my house, I got my houses up there, my sons are up there, and it was just so crazy in New York that you couldn't get in, nor you could, and you couldn't come out.
I left right before it got crazy, so it was bananas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone wants to be in New York right now. No way.
Yeah. But I keep a tab on New York because obviously, I have houses up there. I'm from there. I grew up in Harlem. My sons are up there. So I'm always trying to make sure I know what's going on up there because sometimes the information could be more extreme than what we're really getting because the ones on the ground. No, but they do tell me, they say, when the weather's gotten a little hot, people are coming outside and they believe that everything is okay. And that is the trick, P. That is the trick. That they putting down on us, you know what I mean? Because there's because I haven't seen a vaccine. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't understand how we just, I mean, I do know life has to go on, but I don't understand how we just come up with a solution that everybody just go back to what you've been doing.
And then you still,
yeah,
With
you still
minimal
gonna bring
tasks
home.
available. Right.
Right.
No way.
You know, Doug, what's a trip is that, obviously I've known you for a long time. And I think that, a lot of people don't know how much like you really have been at this for such a long time in Harlem. And, I was thinking about how like, I saw Teddy and, when Ted came on with the first record he came on. And the record he came on obviously was your joint that he made. What is that in the St. Nick's projects y'all made that? Where was that at? In Harlem?
Yeah, St. Nick. We was in St. Nick. Yeah, when I went over there to his house.
Wow, that's like he's like you in high school or he like 15? Some crazy shit you told me, right?
Yeah, man. Cause see, and you know what's so crazy, P? Right after when I looked at it, when I went to his house, like the part of the story that I think should be told. And you always get me to tell stories. Like, let me tell y'all something about P.
I'll tell you. Okay, first there's the Doug documentary, and then B, there got to be the book. If y'all know this man's life, this man, he's at Pup's 50th birthday on the mic. He's backstage with Prince. He's talking to Stevie Wonder. He's kicking it with Harry Belafonte. I mean, this guy, y'all know like somebody that just be like everywhere? That's Doug. For real. For real.
Everywhere dropping knowledge. Which one is it?
Hey, but let me tell you something about him though, just to keep it 100. He has a very subtle way of making you just give him everything. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know how you do
That's
that.
the art of manipulation.
Why you know that manipulation?
Look, he took me to this place one time. He said, yeah, meet me over at this little spot when they was having a football game or something. And I was in there and I was like, man, it's kind of crowded. I don't even think we're going to be able to talk in here. And out of nowhere, like the game is on, the vibe is happening. And I'm up here talking. We were supposed to talk for a couple of minutes. We ain't lived for a couple of hours. Right. Yeah, look, I'm telling them my stories.
But you got to tell the story. So you was about to tell the story about Ted, right? And so you and Ted in St. Nick projects, right?
Right. But the part that I said about the story that I don't want to leave out, and nobody would really, and I think it's important to tell this part of the story for a couple of reasons. But coming up in Harlem and coming up in the world of hip hop that I came up from is a world where your record is not what established you as being a hip hop artist. Okay. We came up at a time when records were secondary. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Your skills was first. Records were secondary. And if you did it in a backwards order, I could tell that you wasn't as good as you could be because you're living off of the record instead of your skill. So you have groups like Cold Crush Brothers who may not have had a lot of hit records, but skill-wise, they were at the top of the game.
Right.
And that's why there was so much drama with Sugar Hill, right? Because there were these guys who hadn't put no work in and just pop up with the biggest record, but not the actual. This ain't like you at Harlem World, you know what I mean? Doing your thing with Mo or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And so that whole vibe, see, because Kaz gave Big Bang Hank his rhyme book. And he said, yo, I'm getting ready to do a record out at Sugar Hill. He just threw him the book because Kaz has so many, he had like 10, 15 rhyme books. He said, just grab here, take this book, threw the book at him and said, just pick something out of there. That's how that is a MC. There's a big difference.
Right.
Yo, LP, you gotta visualize this. Homeboy wanted some rhymes because he said, yo, it's this lady's Sugar Hill, they want me to make a record. He said, oh yeah? He said,
Cass never even thought about making a record, right? He wasn't even
he thought about it, but the opportunity didn't pop up. Now the twist in the story is this. If Hank knew that Kaz was that good, he felt that, and we all feel in a lot of ways that, yo, you should have brought Kaz so that Kaz could bless them correctly. But then Kaz didn't even care. He said, here, take the rhyme book. So now after he threw you the book and you got on, he's expecting for you to bless him after.
The biggest rap record ever, by the way. How about that part? How about the part that he said Hank's name He said, I got the rhyme from you in the rhyme. He said it.
Right.
I'm like,
Right.
oh, man, word.
Right. I'm the CASN, the OVA, and the rest is FLY.
What?
You know what I mean? Come on, man. He says his name in it.
That's crazy. It's so crazy.
So with me, I come from that generation of hip hop. I come from the first generation, but I'm like the first child of the first generation. Like when the first generation is coming to an end, or not an end, but it's like the last. I'm that kid that they couldn't get rid of, that was annoying, or that was constantly around them and watching them and studying them and sneaking in Harlem World and going to all of the places I didn't supposed to go. And I became so, I was so much in it that they couldn't shake me. You see what I'm saying? Because I would be with Hollywood. I would sit up there and study the Cold Crush Brothers, Grandmaster Caz, Busy Bee, Love Bug. So there's a group called Disco 4. And there's a guy named...
Come on, tell them about it.
You ready for this?
You said it was called Tekashi 6ix9ine? It was called Mumble Rap Killer?
Oh, my goodness.
What you say it's called? It's called Beat Biter, Dope Style Taker. It's called Don't Never Been Original in Your Life. What you say?
Oh. I'm getting ready to get back.
I don't want to be the old dude in the club. I'm just saying there was a time when you had to be original, at least a little bit.
A little bit, and a little bit of skill. Is that how you became the human bebop?
Yes, it is. But I'm going to tell you, see, originality, there was this one word, and P know it, and y'all know this too. There was this one word called biting.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
When you're a biter.
Yes.
When you are a biter. Let me tell you something. Like, it was damn near like, you would much rather be called a murderer, somebody, just any of, like, the word in hip hop that would make you just crumble and not feel like any kind of love, like, if somebody said, your homeboy over there is a biter.
Tell them what I say in the chorus, beat biter, dope style, take it, tell you to your face, you ain't nothing.
You ain't nothing but a fake. You see what I'm saying?
Right, that's just still real.
A beat biter. Because it was basically saying you're not original.
Right.
You are a thief. You are stealing my style. Get your own. Stop taking my style.
Right.
With that being said, how did they handle beef at that point? If you identified or called out.
Say that again. When you was a biter?
Yes, when you were a biter, how was that beef handled?
Oh my God, you don't understand. Yo, if you was a biter, everybody would be like, yo, homeboy over this biter, he's a goddamn biter. Like meaning that you were pushed out of the circle. So see, and this is the deep part about hip hop that people don't understand. It's damn near like the Old Testament in comparison to the New. Because I look at hip hop like I come from the Old Testament, and then there's a new school of rappers that come from the New Testament. Okay. Now, if you study the Old Testament, the laws was different. Like there was a law called, it was written in the stone. And one of the reasons why is because they would put you in a pit. And if you did something wrong, the whole town would throw rocks at you because they're looking at it like that's mean the law is written in the stone. So now it was such a brutal punishment that they stopped it because it could be you next time, right? Now in hip hop, the word being called a biter, it was so nasty and it was so rough. Because you never wanted to be called that. But this is the catch. If that word biter never happened, the culture would not have been protected. You see what I'm saying? Because everybody would have been stealing everybody's stuff. So you were forced to make up something creative.
Yes.
You had
everybody want to be on the radio so bad, and these record companies have made it so that they want every record to sound the same with a little auto-tune, talk about whatever drug you're using, talk about whatever stripper that you're the man, whatever. There's like
this week, stripper this week.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that everybody is that way, because there's the J. Cole's in the world. There's other people who got their own skills. I just don't like that people now, there was a a fee you had to pay in to get into our club back in the day. You know, you couldn't just, you know, pop in because you got some VIP money or some bottles. You had to got the, you know, the person at the door. You know, so funny. It's baby Chris's birthday today, right? And so, you know, I both know Chris, rest in peace, and Chris Lighty. And, you know, I had this memory of Chris today. I did this American Celebrity Crime Files about his life, but Chris used to be at the door at the tunnel.
That's right.
Peace, right? Peace. And so Chris used to be out there doing all kind of wild shit. And, you know, there's so many stories of Chris. Chris wasn't just talking. Chris was putting hands on people. And so, but he didn't want the weirdos and all the kind of perpetrators to be at the door. He was guarding the door of our shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. That's right. And Chris was part of the violators, you know, and he used to run with Red Alert. And Chris used to be one of the guys helping to protect Red Alert and also carrying crates. But see, this is what I'm trying to tell you. There was a certain level of humility. There was a certain level of honesty that was about that generation of hip hop. So what I'm saying to you is in that beginning era of hip hop, you didn't want to be called that, so you did everything you could to not be called that.
Original.
Right.
And that is
Doug, I always wanted to ask you this question, and now I'm about to put you in front of a blast on so many people, and I know so many people want to ask this question of you. So, you know, I produced the Fat Boys Unsung, right? And so I was in with Mark and all of those, you know, Cool Rock, and so rest in peace, Buff. They give you props, but they believe that Buff came before you. Obviously, that's their boy, right? And they were like, Doug was on the scene, but Buff was already in the mix in Brooklyn doing his thing, and then we heard about this kid in Harlem. I know you've heard this question, but what is the best way, Doug? If this is old school, whatever, please tell the people, what's the real story? Who is the original? Is it different because Buff was doing, and then you're doing sound? What's the difference?
The difference is that in I have a flyer that shows that goes back to 1982, where you could see me on a flyer saying the Human Beatbox, Dougie Fresh, 1982, right? Now, in 82 is when I brought it out. Now I was developing it in 81, but 82 was the first introduction. But this is the other thing, P, to make this is how you could shut the whole argument down. Number one, if they could produce a flyer that goes back further than 82, then I will submit.
I don't think that's the case.
Let's go.
But you know, I don't think that's the case.
That's number one.
Let's go. You started it.
That's just number one. Let me give you number two. Number two is if they could tell me how the name originated, the Human Beatbox, then after that, then I would submit too. Because see, the name didn't even exist until Barry B came up with the name. See, because Grandmaster Flash was on the beatbox, right? It was a Friday night, everybody was playing, you know, Flash is on the beatbox.
And when he was saying the beatbox, what does that mean?
That means that he was playing, which now became drum machines, but as he was DJing, he was playing the beatbox because that added to the excitement of Grandmaster Flash as being this, you know, incredible DJ / beatbox player. And I got tapes. When we hook up, I'm gonna let you hear some of my tapes with Flash on the beatbox, right? Wow. So now what happened is that I started doing the beatbox at Barry's house, and he said, "Yo, stop." He said, "Yo, I never heard nothing like that." He said, "Yo, you should call that."
I never asked you this question. Just annoying you. What the fuck were you smoking some good Harlem shit when you started making noises? Was like your mom beating you with a West Indian switch? What the fuck is going on, dog? Why did you start making these crazy ass noises? You didn't have no time. What was you doing?
Yo, man, look, I used to play the trumpet. I used to play the trumpet.
Word. Okay.
But dig this though, Spike Lee's uncle, his name is Brother Lee, and Malcolm Lee's father name is Brother Lee, and his father was my teacher in school for music.
Okay. Oh, word. Okay.
And his father, I came to the music school, and when I was in school, and he asked me what did I want to play. I told him percussions. He said, and I said percussions and the drums. He said, no, you want to play the trumpet. I said, why? He said, yo, because once you play the trumpet, I'll let you play the drums. So I kept taking this trumpet home every day. Then at the end of the year, they cut the music programs in the school. So I left the trumpet and I couldn't play it no more. So walking home, I did the same exercises, but I was hearing the speakers, all the mom and pop record shops. And that's how I created the beatbox.
And so
Can
you
we
started
hear your
making
first
the sounds
one?
of the
Do
trumpet.
you remember
Oh,
your first
wow.
one?
Damn.
Huh? The
So
first
do you
beat?
remember your first one, your first beat? Can we hear it?
The first beat was, you hear that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Could you do it? Let me see if you could do it. Go like this. Go.
No, no.
Come on, go.
Do it.
Now go. Go.
Are you doing it with your mouth and your teeth?
The tongue.
The tongue.
No, now go.
Oh, goodness.
But you're putting your tongue and the back of your mouth together.
You know what's funny? I don't even know where I put it, but it's like it's like a very different kind of.
That's just.
And then when I see Miriam Makeba, she's from this tribe called the Clicks, and when they talk like that.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, so I'm thinking
know,
that I might be a descendant from that.
I feel like Caribbean situation, when I went to see Hurt, and I feel like people don't realize how much the African Caribbean, I know we be talking deep, me and Doug always be talking deep as shit, but this is such a part, I mean, I know you guys may never get this chance to see and talk to them, so this is such a part of the culture, the Caribbean, African part, and Doug is basically making the beats that we would make in an African circle, in a Caribbean. If you talk to Hurt's whole thing was the Caribbean and drums and Africa, right?
Right, because he's from the Caribbean too, you know. Right. But it's funny because I'm telling you, I think it's in our DNA. Because I cannot tell you, no matter what I say, I could never tell you exactly how I came up with this. I don't even know where it came from, and I know that I was playing the trumpet, and I know that when the trumpet was taken away and the music program was shut down, I still wanted to connect. So what I did is I basically took the percussion idea that I told him I wanted, and I took the idea of the exercises of the trumpet, and I combined them without me even knowing that I was doing it. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, you know?
Doug, would you battle anyone today?
Would I battle somebody? I might teach them. I don't know if I'll battle them. I'll probably teach them. Like I taught him how to Dougie, I probably teach him.
I noticed on your feed yesterday they were spelling that wrong. I was like, no, that's Dougie the Day. It's not Dougie Fresh. Like, you gotta fix the lettering.
You know that? I don't know.
Doug is like a humanist, and so he brings these people together. Yeah. It's a trip to see that young generation came out with a whole song about you. How did that feel when they did that joint? That must have been like, when you first heard that shit, that must have been crazy, right? And you're like, teach me how to Dougie. I saw a Geico commercial. Have you seen that commercial, fam? When they had the commercial, and the girl's like, she's remembering back in the day, and she's like doing a teach me how to Dougie in some type of insurance commercial. Super random. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Weird.
Hey, yo, man, you know, sometimes you make up something and it's funny because I was talking to somebody earlier today about authenticity. I think when you make up something from a spirit of just authenticity, it radiates a different vibration and it carries a longer effect because it's not out of money. It's not out of selfishness. Like when those kids, when Cali Swag came to see me, and when they came to see me at my house, when they came to Harlem, I didn't have any negative energy about it. I was like, show me what you're doing. And then I said, all right, well, put this in there. And we start dancing and having fun. So it's that kind of energy, I think, is what made that project go right. And just like the man in the back of the wall, you know, and you know, personally, we shared a lot. Our energy between me and Prince was always based on authenticity and very, very, very respectful and spiritual. You know what I mean? If that element wasn't in it, we probably wouldn't have been rocking. You see what I'm saying?
You know, it's a trip how we come up with so much stuff. She had a question. You know what? And I got to do a Spanish class. So I'm teaching Spanish class on a Friday, and I'm talking to y'all. So she got a Zoom class. I'm coming right back. 1 second.
What was your most pinnacle moment? What do you remember most about your career? Where you were, I guess, in your travels, working with Prince, all the artists that you've had the opportunity to be a part of?
You know what's funny to me? I don't even know if I really hit the pinnacle of what it is that I feel that the Creator got planned for me. But I can tell you this, one of the things that always stand very firm in my mind is the beginning. You know, the beginning of the story, you know, we didn't have as much money when we was out there doing a lot of these parties and these shows. And I remember one time me and Will got caught up in a snowstorm, and we was walking from 168th Street all the way down to our house and just telling jokes. And we went up there to do a party, and we walked home because we couldn't hop the train because it was police at every station because they weren't foolish enough to be out in the snowstorm. And we were just laughing and telling jokes all the way home. I'll never forget stuff like that. I remember one time walking down the street with my boy Barry B, and we was both starving, just did a block party, and on the floor we was broke, saying, damn, wish I had something to drink. Looked down on the floor, he found $10. When he found $10, he went into the store, and when he went into the store, I thought he was just going to give me something to drink. He gave me half of that $10. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So these are stories that these are points for me that I can never forget, because those are the things that make me who I am. Because who we are is a collective of people that we meet along the way. And sometimes we don't want to acknowledge those people that help us become who we are.
That's right.
You know?
Right.
So when I look at myself, I think about my boys that was with me. I think about Rick. I think about Barry. I think about Will. I think about my boys, Vicious, LeVay, like all of the people that help you become who you are. That's why I give so much respect to the generation of hip hop that I come from.
Yes.
I tell people this all the time. I say, yo, I got love for the artists that I hear today, but I respect the pioneers that paved the way. You know what I'm saying?
That's why we're here.
Like, how could you not? How could you not? If you got a Mother's Day and you respect your mother because you know your mother is the foundation of your existence.
Yes.
You got a father. You respect your father. The father is the foundation of your existence. Yes. In hip hop, you should show that same level of respect to those that came before you. And don't become arrogant. Don't think because you have money. Don't think because you had a better opportunity, it makes you better than the ones that came before you. Because technically, you're not better. Because those that came before you created something that didn't exist only for you to ride on the wave of what now exists. You see what I'm saying? I mean, so and it don't mean we can't be bitter either, because we did it so that y'all can enjoy it as well. But just show respect. That's what I feel.
Because I'm like, I've been doing these little 2-story Tuesdays. I've been thinking about, I was telling this kid how when one time I was at the Grammys, it's got to be like, I don't know when Will won, but it's like about like 93, 94. And they would have put us in a back room. We was never, they probably can't even imagine that Nicki Minaj or LL was the host. Like, they didn't want to put us on TV. They put us in a back room, and me and Meth was there. He was bitching and complaining about the whole thing, and he didn't think he was going to win because they never treated us right. We were the outcasts. We made something out of nothing. When you ask Andre Harrell, he was talking about how the punk rockers and the hip hoppers were together downstairs, Latin Quarters, and they were all together as outcasts. And so I just don't like that people think that this is how it just arrived this way. They didn't see you in 85 and 95, you know what I mean, creating for the culture and putting these building blocks. I just think that they take it for granted. And I know what it's like to take us, I know what it's like for hip hop to be on the radio once a week for an hour and tape that shit on the tape and play that back for your boys and play it at lunchtime with some cardboard, for real.
So who was the artist that you really, really enjoyed back when you were growing up?
Oh, man.
You talking about me or Doug? Doug, come on. Doug was actually playing with the real people at the real place. Wow. That's incredible. Man, did you make a record with Treacherous 3 when you was a kid?
Absolutely. I was on the phone with LA Sunshine last night, and I sent him a cassette. I said, well, not a cassette because it's like it's in the phone now. But I could send. I got caught up. I really got caught up for a minute. I sent him some music of him performing at Harlem World with Busy B that he never even heard that he did. And when I sent it to him, I said, I was telling him how much I study it to this day. Like I study all of the guys that came from the beginning still to this day, because I love LA Sunshine is one of the greatest performers ever in this game of hip hop, and I know it, and I don't care if nobody else know it because I seen it. You see what I'm saying?
Right,
and then when you look at people like Grandmaster Caz and Melly Mel and Kumo D and Special K, who's also a great MC out of that group, you start to look at these guys and say, man, I'm just so privileged and honored. And even Shy Rock. See, a lot of female MCs don't even realize that first lady, first female MC, Shy Rock or Pebbly Pooh, I was on tour with them.
All kind of names they have. They're like, what? They're going to Google.
Everybody on Google.
They're going to Google right now. Right.
Who's that? Take notes, people. Take notes. That's it.
Shy Rock. Wait till she puts her story out. You talk about a story. Shy Rock. Her story will shake the ground. And she always had a beautiful voice, man. And and then up there was Zulu Nation and and just the way Zulu formulated and how it came to be from the Peacemakers and the Black Spades and and the gangs that was in all of the 5 boroughs and how hip hop came in and diffused that whole thing and saved lives. You know what I mean? So this is a deep, deep well of information. And like you said, most people don't understand that you're just really, like, there was a time, and I don't even think people believe this, when they didn't want no hip hop played. They would not let nobody, they would not put us on shows.
Think about what Mr. Magic went through just to get that, you know what I mean? Just to get that on the radio, to have a Mr. Magic hip hop time. My man, DJ Quarantine. Let me. You got any old school joints right now that you queued up? Whatever. Let's put your on. You got to. I wanted to ask Doug about this one song. Is it Keep Rising to the Top?
That's it.
Now you sampled that joint, right? From the. Isn't that come from a different?
Yeah, I got that song from Kenny Burke. Kenny Burke is the original creator of the song. And the frame is freezed, so I don't know.
There he is. Okay.
Yeah. So what you were saying, P?
I was saying, my DJ, do you got keep rising to the top? Let me play that joint real quick.
Time to get paid. Get laid. Cool in the shade.
No, that's not the joint. You got to move to keep rising to the top. And my mind said, give it all you got. Give it all you got. You got that, DJ?
No, that's it. He was going. He was putting it there. He didn't get into the part.
Yeah, he just said fast forward.
And what is the name of the joint that you sampled that from?
It's called Rising to the Top. Originally, it's Rising to the Top by a man that goes by the name of Kenny Burke.
That's his name.
Who gave me the honor of being able to take that record because they played it in places like Disco Fever and stuff like that, but the record wasn't getting the full magnitude that it deserved. You know what I mean? So when I heard it, I said, I know rap. See, because hip hop didn't take this direction. This is the first time. See, before Round the Way Girl and all of these other songs, Rising to the Top is the introduction of that smooth, grown, and sexy vibe.
Right. Okay.
So, but I didn't want to lose the meaning of this song because I felt that the original song carried such depth in the meaning of the words that I wanted to complement it. Sometimes you do a song over and you could take away the integrity of the song. And sometimes it destroys what that song really meant. So when I finished it, Kenny Burke was happy and he was thankful that I complimented the song originally, And
it's a trick because I did this unsung about Gil Scott-Heron, one of the best things I ever did as a producer. And so
I performed with him.
And he obviously, if you think about hip hop, blast poets, we all know the real shit at the beginning. And so you think to him, he hated hip hop because he felt like nobody improved on what he did. They just whatever. And I felt like he never got a sense to truly understand how much he contributed spoken word over beat and the political part about it. But you always make shit better. True story. So me and Doug, one time we were backstage. I feel like this is a show. It's about 3 or 4 years ago. And so I went to his room before he got on stage. And his son, Doug has 7 sons. You got 7 sons that you know about, right?
Six.
Putting all your business out there.
Keep the numbers. Keep the
Different
numbers
show.
right.
6.
6
And
minutes.
so what if
6
your
minutes,
son,
6
the one,
seconds.
he was on the bed and he was playing video games. Remember, he had like little dreads. What was his name? And he was doing your merch or something like that. One day we were.
I think that's Jonah.
And me and you was talking about how, our kids, they go to nice schools and whatever else. And you was like, he wouldn't do whatever you wanted him to do. And I'm like, he had no hustle. And I'm like, do you know how I had to hustle to get to where I am and how hard his dad had to work? How do you deal with because, they take it for granted that life is good.
It's called entitled.
It's called entitled.
Yes.
Well, you know what, P, I'm going to tell you, and you know it better than me. I think sometimes with our children, it's a funny thing how you say you want your children to have a better life than you. But when you analyze your life and the person that you are, your life was pretty good because it made you who you are.
That's right.
So sometimes you're believing that if you give somebody more than what you had, it will make them better than you. Not necessarily.
Correct.
Because they may not appreciate it the same way you appreciate what you got because you went through things to get it. So what I do is I always keep this thing, which is what I call a fair exchange. If you want something from me, you have to do something for it.
Right.
I'm not just going to give it to you because you are going to become what I consider to be a thief. You're going to think that you could take something and not put nothing back.
Right.
If you look at the way the world is, and if you look at the earth, the ground, that's why I like these coconut trees. You ain't going to get that tree unless you plant something in it.
I tell you,
gotta
drop
put
on
something in.
on the ladder, son. You got the big ass machete and shit. You got a whole shit. I can't just go swipe the credit card and get a drink.
What is he doing?
Doug is over there like he grew up as, Doug is from the Caribbean anyway, so he knows it's like to be a little.
He's like, listen, I'm a survivor. I don't have to worry about this grocery store. I got this. He's like, I got the peppers, I got the avocados. I'm about to have my own Cinco de Mayo. Y'all can go ahead and have it.
I love it. When the shit go crazy, you're gonna be able to survive, kid. For real. You're gonna be like,
hey,
I'm good.
Hey, P, if we don't show them how to survive, when it's time for us to transition, they're gonna be running around here begging and screaming and wanting other people to do for them. And I look at that as us as a people, the mindset has to be that, because if we believe that's why in a lot of ways what's happening now is a terrible thing. But then how can we extract good from this situation? And to me, to extract good from this is that we have no choice but to grow. We have no choice but to be independent. We have no choice but to interact. We have to create another situation because the world we once knew is gone, B. You know that, right?
Right. You know, it's a trip.
Everything we knew is gone.
But you got to ask yourself right now, and we've been talking about the pandemic, and, obviously Kobe died right before this. And so we was all in like a fucked up state of it's unbelievable. This man got hundreds of millions of dollars. He's a superhero, hardest working human that I've seen. But that just goes to show you that your time could be up. And so it could be a few people I know have died from the COVID. What do you want to get accomplished before you're off this planet? If you woke up today and was like, yo, what is it that I really want to do?
Well, what I want to.
So what is it that I know that you do a lot for people, but in the pandemic, what have you asked yourself? Like, you got a lot of game. I know that you have a mental situation and a spiritual situation a lot of people don't know about. What would you say to people? What should be the lesson out of this situation as a guy who messes with a higher power?
For me, man, brother, I'm gonna tell you, man. I feel that the lesson in this particular situation is to slow. I think that there's a couple of things. I think health is very, 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 very important. And I think that we have to be very, very, very focused on that, because right now there are people who did not have to check out of here only because of health issues that they never took seriously. That's one particular thing on the surface. Underneath that, I personally think spiritually, there is something going on that's greater than all of this. It's making us slow down. It's making us take a step back. It's making the world take a moment to heal itself. They said the pollution in the air dropped to the all-time low because nobody was driving. Nobody was moving.
Only imagine. You see me in LA or New York or whatever. I just was walking around and felt like I was in Canada, like I could breathe.
See what I'm saying?
Unbelievable. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tell you some real shit. I went to go drop off something on the freeway the other day, and it took me 28 minutes to get to Inglewood to one of my homies, my editor's place. And I rolled the window down. There was nobody on I felt like a whole nother person. And my air and my lungs, I know it's gonna get back to normal, but I was like, wow, imagine if it was really this way.
The new normal.
Yeah.
No normal.
Right. See, there's a new normal that's coming. There's a new normal that's coming, and that new normal cannot change no more. Like what has happened, and we never thought that this would happen in our lifetime. I know I didn't, but this particular thing that happened, it shifted things forever. We can never forget this. You see what I mean?
Right.
This is going to be written about in books, and when they look back at it, and if some of us are alive to tell the story, they would never believe that we was on quarantine with DJ Quarantine. You understand what I mean?
Quarantine, we need some tracks. People hit me up like, who's the weird dude with the glasses? We need some music over there. Hit us with a Dougie Fresh track right now. We got you. Let's do it.
That's the hardest. That's the hardest DJ I've seen in a long time.
DJ Quarantine,
I got a little nervous. I thought he was in the hood.
Yeah.
I thought he was in the hood.
Hey, but a mask is okay now. All you need is the 357. It'll be a different thing. All right, DJ Quarantine, what you got?
The new normal. This is the new normal.
Hey, and he got his head out. He got the
Turn it up.
Oh my God, he's playing that. That's hard. That's hard. That's hard.
Crazy.
That's hard right there. A lot of people don't know what that song did. That song turned it up.
What song is that?
Turn It Up by Kumo D. Brother.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Man, that song is the origin of multiple styles of artists that you hear now. That record is the seed to those styles.
Right. You know, I wanted to ask you this, and obviously I've asked you this before personally, but a lot of people here are getting a chance to talk to you. You know, if you watch Doug on stage, and he actually doesn't perform too many of his own songs. He goes up there, he actually entertains you by playing other songs, keeping your energy up, and doing all of that. How have you, and I've been with you, where you do like 3 or 4 shows in a whole weekend. They call you the hardest working man in the game. How did you develop that routine where it's not necessarily about your songs, it's about the crowd? What was your head?
Brother, yo, that is the greatest question I think I've been asked in a long time. And I keep it 100 with you. And this answer is an answer that goes deeper than what most people can understand. See, this is the reason why the original generation of hip hop is important, and you have to study it. Because the reason why I use these songs is because when hip hop was originated, we would take, let me use a name like James Brown. And 1, 2, 3, 4, hit it. Doom, doom, back, doom, ba, doom, da, ba, doom. And now the DJ is cutting it up and the guy is rhyming over it. Now, when the guy is rhyming over it and the DJ is cutting it up, you don't care that it's a James Brown record. Yes. The only thing you're caring about is this DJ cutting this beat and him rhyming over the top. You don't even think about James Brown, no disrespect, but you're thinking about the feeling of that particular sound. Now, what happened is, here we go back into arrogance and vanity and things like that. There is no record that was ever created that's not my record. Meaning, I can take that record and I can use the part of that record that I think is the part that me and you would like. And I can play that part of that record or play that record because I know you like it and I like it too. Now, I can put what I'm going to put on top of it the same way I did in the early days. But what happened is when people started making records, they stopped remembering the original formula. So the original formula...
Like Herc would do with the breakbeat to play the meter. We call it a meter to record.
That's right. That's right. Or if you go into a party and all of a sudden you hear Before I Let Go playing. Okay, Frankie Beverly is not there, but you still like the record. You know, I mean, you still gonna grab a drink and have a good time. You don't care that, like, I'm not saying I own the record, but I know that this record could create a vibration that I'm using to create an effect. So the effect is more important than my ego of how, I mean, I have a lot of records and I can perform my records all day, but if I mix them up and I match the emotions and the frequencies of what it is that I'm trying to convey, and I put my energy on top of it. That's all hip hop was, and that's all it really is.
That is called.
You understand what I'm saying?
Within a DJ. You know what's the trip is that, like, as I watch you, because I see you watch the crowd reaction, I see how you study the crowd. You incorporate new high records into your thing. Like you're smart. You're like a ringmaster. You know, people don't know that in the beginning of hip hop, it wasn't about the MC.
Right.
It was about what?
The DJ.
There we go. It was about the DJ. DJ Quarantine. What you got?
DJ Quarantine, man. Look, we can't have a show without quarantine.
That's right. That's right. That's it.
Quarantine, I know you got a joint for us. Let's hear it.
Oh yeah, I got something.
See, the mask is kind of hard for him to see with that mask on.
He can't read. He can't. I don't know. He ain't got no vinyl over there. He might got a Serato.
He need a turntable. We need D for this. Next one, we're gonna do a part 3. We'll bring D in. Let's see if we can. Let me see what you can do. Make it happen.
That's right.
I love it.
Hey.
Oh, there we go. Wait. What? Wait. How did you and Ted get this? What is that sound? What is that?
Man, let me tell you, that sound was the yeah. Actually, when we was doing it, Rick was the guy that told us that we should do that.
Oh.
Rick said that. Rick said he came in there humming a melody, and he said, "Yo, you should do that." Slick Rick. See, that's what I'm telling you. When a record is made, it's a collective effort of everyone, and that's why most of the time, same way. Look at you, P. Right? You put on shows and your name is on the bottom of some of the best unsungs and the realest ones from, us talking and how we break it down right now. Even though you got that under there, and even though you said now, I'm on the highway 28 minutes going to see my editor. That editor is a person that you trust with what you produced. And if you got the wrong editor, am I correct that the show?
I've been dealing with it all the time. I'll tell you a true story. Unsung, there was a number of years to love the show. Obviously, to my show. Some of the editors didn't understand culturally what the artist was about. Didn't even know some of the artist's name. And so
we used to talk about that all the time.
And we talk about that. And I was like, how are you going to be editing something and you don't know the cultural context of it? And to my shirt, how are you going to be patrolling my neighborhood and has no cultural context about who I am in New York, in Brooklyn, in Bronx, and you whatever else, and you coming at me like a hostile person? It's important to be a part of the culture. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's where they lack it.
I read somewhere yesterday that you were stating that the show was a reality that you all had kind of created in regards to what you were doing. So I wanted to find out how you decided that. I mean, that's definitely a visionary as it relates to you all creating that. Was that something that you all experienced, or where did the show idea come from?
Well, see, it's a beautiful question, sister, and I'm gonna tell you that the answer is it goes back to the beginning. Like I told Pete, that when I first started in hip hop, it was about the performance first, the record second.
Okay.
So I was sleeping and I woke up and I called Barry, I called Will, and I even told Rick. I said, "Yo, man, I got this idea called the show." Rick, I said, "It's crazy." I said, "I don't know how it popped in my mind, but I woke up with this idea." Rick said, "It's whack." And whack is the worst as here. Whack is just as bad as hearing biting. You know what I'm saying? and Barry and Will was like, "Well, let me see where you going with this." Right. And so then that's when, like I was telling you, I went by Ted's house, and there was a guy named Greg Marius, named Greg G from the Disco 4. And he owed me a favor because I performed on one of his shows and he didn't have the money to pay me. So when he didn't have the money to pay me, he lent all his equipment to Teddy, and Teddy was in there messing with his equipment. So I said, "Yo, man," I said, "you got to pay me my money." He said, "I tell you what," he said, "I owe you money. You could go to Teddy's house, and I know you trying to come out with a new record. I see you performing it on stage." He said, "So why don't you go over there and then let and we could balance it out like that." So I said, "I don't want to go to Teddy's house, man. I want my money." Then he said, "Yo, I don't have it." I said, "All right, so I'll go over to Teddy's." So when I went over to Teddy's house, that's when I created the show. I created this thing which is called Swing. And because I did the beatbox, and because of the way I do beats, I was able to create that beat to make it move like I know how to make beats move without, you know, so yeah, so that's how it started.
It's almost like a fucking Caribbean day jump up, son. It's like,
Frank is over the quarantine. You are so in the Caribbean. You have just checked out.
I just want to get the hell out of this house and get back on the plane and go and do my shows, yo.
He's like, I got to get out of here, Caribbean.
I gotta get out of here. They keep me on the plantation, son. I can't even get out, yo. I'm in the field this.
Hey, I'll take P anywhere, man. I'm keeping it 100. He goes hard. No matter where he at, he goes hard, B.
It's all good, man.
So, P, with that being said, have you reached your pinnacle? Are you ready? Have you checked out? Are you retiring? Are you going to the island? You're not doing anymore? I
got about 10 more years with you motherfuckers, and that's about it. I'm going to go somewhere like Doug, where there's some trees and coconuts. I'm going to write a couple of books. I'm going to be a professor teaching this shit with a good pension, and I ain't going to be nowhere but no smog and be chilling out. I'll pop up, do a movie too, and be out. You know, I'm not, you know, it's this whole rat race. You know, one thing I learned about this whole situation is like, you could get caught up in the rat race. And I was like, damn, I lost all this money during the pandemic, but I found a lot of myself. And so one thing I said to you guys earlier is that I keep asking myself, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And so as a storyteller, and Doug is a writer and a performer, you get to the end of the movie and you're like, this is the end of the movie. And then you come back. I'm like, this is what I want my end of my movie in my life to be. And I'm like, well, what do I have to do to get to that? Because, you know, we're so caught up, we running around. And, you know, I know Doug be doing like 20 shows a month. And so all my artist performer friends, imagine if you know, a few of my friends are, some of my friends are online checking this out. If you're a teacher, I'm teaching my daughter now, teacher, like, how are you going to, you know, there's so many jobs that are going to be gone. How do you reinvent yourself and come out of this in a way to realize the dream and do what you really want with your life? And so that's, you know, I'm a hustler. I'm happy to be alive. Like I told you, it's baby Christmas. So, you know, we still here, Doug. I mean, come on, man. 30, 40 years in this game.
Hey, and you look like you're keeping yourself in shape. You see?
I'm getting up, right.
But dig this, that's right, because I think that this was what we would do with our children, or some people do with their children. It's called a timeout.
Yes.
And a timeout sometimes gives you a minute to reflect, to think, and to analyze. Am I living my life's purpose? Am I getting the most out of this life? Am I doing the job that I was here to do? Some of us believe we are, but right now, the job is being changed a little bit due to the circumstances, and maybe it's time to reevaluate.
I was thinking about what are my other hustles that I can do instead of producing entertainment. I do voiceovers. I'm like, damn, I might want to just go, you know what I mean? I might just be the dude that's just, you know, in your studio and just like engineering. I'm like, I always wanted to be an engineer. I'm like, shit, I'm about to study Latin. Like, whatever the fuck, like, whatever you want to do right now, like, you better try to do it. Because I don't think that Kobe Bryant, when he got on that helicopter, thought that he was going to check out.
Right.
Please believe it. I didn't mean to drop a real bomb, but think about it in that kind of context. Because you think I need more money, I need more access. You know, you don't have much more time. You know, time is really the most important asset that you have. And Doug knows that. You know, and look at Doug. Look, he's like whatever age he is, but he look like he's about 35 and shit. That nigga be in the gym, fucking drinking water. He don't drink alcohol. He don't have that many groupies anymore. He got, you know, he's look at him, look at him, smile, look at his teeth. That nigga look great.
Hey, look.
That's the Virgo.
That's the Virgo it is?
Yes.
Stress-free.
Stress-free. Peace.
And you know the bugged out part about stress, and I say this all the time, it's like stress is the #1 killer of them all. So some of us are stressing ourselves out right now, even at home. And the fascinating thing about stress is that 80 to 85% of all sicknesses that you see happen with a person comes from stress.
Damn.
80 to 85. But the most fascinating part of it is that over 70 to 75% of all the things that people are stressing about don't even happen.
Damn.
It doesn't even happen. Over 75%, it don't even happen.
Text that right. I got to text like, drop a bomb on that shit. DJ Quarantine, you got a bomb? Can you drop a bomb on that shit? God damn. That's such a deep. If y'all take nothing else out of this conversation, please take that.
I hope they were getting something from this.
I swear, brother.
Awesome. I swear.
Awesome. And psychologically, you put yourself in this space
Yes.
that you are like killing yourself
Yes.
Right.
unnecessarily. Like
Right.
you are doing things
It's
that
you can't stress over shit you can't control, son.
right, right. And the mind is going crazy, and you're not controlling the mind. The mind is controlling you, which is a whole nother subject. And then after that happens, you're stressing, you're panicking, you're going crazy, high blood pressure, drinking, eating, doing whatever you're doing. And guess what? None of it is happening like you thought.
Right.
Like a very little percentage of all that you thought was going to happen never happened.
Absolutely.
So we do it to
what's our technology check, Valencia? I know we had 2:59. Does the Zoom stop, or the technology shit? I'm trying to film all my shows and the Zoom here, whatever this camera here, trying to be like I can't control the audio. It's a whole new world. So Valencia,
hey, but don't stress it, Pete. Don't stress it, though. Don't stress it.
All right, here we go.
So your live will continue on Facebook. The IG live will probably stop in about a minute or two, and then our Zoom recording can continue. So any footage you want from this, we can cut it and send it to you.
No, I just wanted to make sure that we don't just cut off. Like in some of our meetings I've been having with people, the shit just cut off.
It won't just be a white screen.
Right.
We're good. We're better than that.
Yeah, get a few more minutes with Doug, you know what I mean?
Hey,
on this
Friday. She got you covered, Pete. See that? Hey, look, she saved us that 85% that we would have been on just a second ago.
Because I was stressing, I'm thinking I'm working, I'm like, the red light is beeping. Like when my cameraman is like, hey, yo, V, I'm about to run out of tape. You better hurry, shut the fuck up and ask more questions. You got about a minute and a half right now. No more questions.
Hey, look, see, everybody throwing you stress now. You see that?
Yes.
So tell the cameraman to calm down.
We got this. We planned for this. Yes.
This is good because I think that, and I'm about to, I was about to start, this is 25 years, my first year, 25 years of being in the game. You want to charge it? There's my supervisor. Supervisor, come over here. You want to charge her for what? 25, well, at least for writing. An iPad. But say hello.
Hello.
Hi, baby. Hi.
Good. That's my friend Valencia.
Hi.
Hello.
And there's Dougie Fresh.
How are you?
Good. And there's DJ Quarantine. Yep. You want to charge her for what? Okay, I'll come and give it to you in a minute.
Oh, isn't that special?
Yeah, and there's my supervisor. But I was just thinking about how much hip hop has provided for me. I've been in the, since 79, 78 as a B-boy, but in terms of taking me around the world and giving me access to things and people and experience, I always say hip hop saved my life because I could have been in your living room in '87 taking your TV. You know what I mean?
That's right.
I had a cassette tape of Dougie Fresh. You know what I mean? And that kept me alive. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, P, you've been going hard for a long time, source all the way through, man. And I gotta say that your contribution to helping to move the culture and everything has been very, very well appreciated, brother. I'm telling you that straight up because I watch you do everything that you do with integrity. And most of the time, people don't care about integrity no more. They just care about the check. And I see you learn how to make sure that you get your blessing, but you never let them play you with the integrity. I remember the time we was talking about that Tupac piece. We was talking for hours on that and how you went back at them because they didn't understand the culture once again, and you had to teach them, and you didn't let them disrespect Tupac. And and that's something people probably don't know about you because we've had a lot of conversations. But brother, you have helped the culture, man, and I appreciate you, brother. I really do.
Appreciate you.
That's why I'm doing this, Pete. I'm doing this because of you. And I'm doing this because I know where you come from. I know you're a Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate
I'm the Hollywood Black Panther now. And it's so funny, appreciate Doug, all those good words. I'm here for the culture. But what Doug was talking about, one time I was working on a show, and it was about the Black Panthers. And the beginning of the show, they were trying to show some video about how the Black Panthers were violent and they were bad in their community and all of this. And this was a white gentleman who was trying to do this. Like when you see a show, there's an opening up like teaser, the first 2 to 3 minutes that sets up the whole show. And so I was like, I grew up on that street, and Tupac grew up down here. These people were helping our communities. They had a healthcare center. They had a sickle cell. They were trying to give us a breakfast program. And this white boy, all he thought was these violent, radical motherfuckers. And I'm like, is this the guy in charge of your culture, putting your TV on, signing your record deal, telling you what song to make, telling you how to play stuff? We got to get more control over our thing. Like, if I told you how much behind the scenes there aren't people of color, from Biggie to Tupac shows to Jeezy to whatever I've done, we got to be in control of our images, because these people will put stuff about you. They don't care. They, you know, you see Ahmaud, what's his name? Ahmaud Arbery?
Yeah, Arbery, Ahmaud.
Unbelievable.
These motherfuckers said, oh, we thought that he was doing a robbery, and so we ran up on him and shot him.
With nothing. He had nothing in his hands. Nothing. What are you talking about? What was he robbing? They could have just watched to see before they reacted.
But what I'm saying is that, and then, you know, as a person, I did a show last year called Cop Watch America that aired on BET. It was about police brutalities, activists in Atlanta, and whatever. And so, and let me tell you some really deep shit. And, you know, Doug will speak on this because he works with, you know, his religion. They controlled the narrative from the beginning. So they tried to spin it. And because their boy was working for the DA, the two white dad was an investigator. His homies recused himself. They tried to spin it to say that he was a thief and put his media out in the media that he had a shoplifting or some bullshit, right? And they didn't say nothing that these two white boys was hunters and racist and a part of a fucking racist, you know, skinhead group, because they want New York PD, LAPD, ATL PD to have a lot of money behind them to spin the message immediately in the media when it comes out to make Ahmaud look like a violent person in the media instead of a young man who was just running to get some air, and he was brutally killed by two savages, right? And so, as Ben told me, and Ben and I are doing the show together, it's horrible to say this, but this is my feeling as a young Black Panther. And Doug knows I'm radical because I'm like, where the guns at? Let's go. Where they live at? Where they live at? I'm in the parking lot. Yeah, that's him right there. That's him. But we have to get in control of our messages. And as Ben told me, don't trip when white people are doing white people. They've been doing this for hundreds of years in this country, and they control the media, and I'm in the room with them, and I understand that. That's why we have to be smart. One of the good things I think that happened out of this, it was the social media pressure that got these guys arrested. These motherfuckers did this months ago, right? And never went to jail. Nothing happened. If we would have got together, they would not be in jail right now.
Absolutely.
It's like they thought we, you know what's so crazy though, P, that even while this coronavirus is going on, you know, racism and the Klan and the Klan now who definitely doesn't wear hoodies anymore.
Right.
You know, the white sheets. I mean, it's a whole new game, a whole new mentality. It's so disrespectful, and it does make you want to react. And I said this before. I said, you know, anger is a very interesting emotion, and uncontrolled, you know, you put a D in front of anger and you got danger, you know, and you can react in a way that cause a ripple effect in ways that you may not want to create. So I always feel that us being strategic, us thinking, us analyzing and coming up with a plan and really working behind the scenes and not letting them hear us. Because I think even with the Panthers, they made such a statement, and it was such a powerful statement in the way that they were seen, that's what made, you know, Hoover want them down, because of just them being able to be seen. But if the Panthers wasn't seen, and if the Panthers was just moving like ninjas, you know what I'm saying? It would have been a different kind of situation. Right. So I think we have to evolve to that kind of level, to me, because they already understand that we might make a statement and be seen in it.
But one of the things that Ben and I've been talking about, and you know, Ben Crumpy, obviously I did the Who Killed Tupac with him on A&E, is that when he goes to these courtrooms, half the juries aren't Black because Black people haven't signed up for jury duty. People haven't done their census. People don't want to vote. And so all of these things, those local judges in your neighborhood, going to jury duty, being on the case, setting the verdict, all of these things are important parts of us taking, you know, charge of our own destiny. Now, let's take, for example, they moved Ahmaud Arbery from 2 different counties, if I'm not mistaken. It reminded me of OJ. I covered OJ. OJ got moved to Simi Valley and that's how the white jury came up. And so people don't think about the power of a jury, how you signing up and you working in your neighborhood is important shit. I know I'm preaching, but It's just so true. When one of the most important civil rights attorneys tells you that half the time he goes in the courtroom in black areas and there's no black people on the actual jury or a person of color, that's important.
It's super important, and some of us don't really understand the depth of that.
Right.
Because and what happened is we're trying to duck jury duty. We don't want to go in there, and then you get in that, you know, you go down there and the jury is all white. There's 12 of them in there, and then the person coming up is black. They don't even take no time to even think about it. And once again, it's like you said, a person not understanding us, and they don't have no relationship to us. So when we don't come to the table and get in the game, because this is a game, it's a system.
Right. Absolutely.
And if we don't incorporate ourselves in this system in some way and play the game, because look, if she was on the jury, I got a better shot of beating something that I didn't do, because she know, they see me with a hoodie on walking down the street. You got 11 other jurors that's white, and then you got one that's black, and everybody is saying, he looks like a criminal. You say, man, my brother wear a hoodie like that when we go down the street. It'd be cold outside. You know what I'm saying? But that reality is not real for them. And they don't even care. They don't even care if they're wrong. They just want to put you in jail.
Right.
Crazy, right?
Right. And you know, again, and I don't want to get this to preachy because it's supposed to be old school hip hop, but I will say this. And you know, like I said, I did the Cop Watch American. I've done a lot of stuff that's political. When you think of overseer, officer, there's a connection that's historical, and that they were meant to go round you up if you leave or get in a slave catching situation. And their first thing was to beat you and make you live in fear. And so if you connect that to what's happening now, you know, in police and, you know, their mentality that they have to shoot you with no cause and to make sure that you fear that that can happen to you. I have a 15-year-old son. I had a long conversation with him yesterday. He was talking about the video, and I just wanted to let him talk because I'm so afraid that what if he's just walking down, that dude was literally jogging down the middle of the street and somebody jumped out the car. It wasn't as if he was on a block in a BX, you know what I'm saying, or in BK, and then it was some
blasting music.
Right.
Blasting music or something.
Word. And so, you know, it's always going to be dangerous for you as a person of color in this country, as long as you're informed, you know what I'm saying?
My son was pulled over yesterday. They had hoodies on. He's driving my car, has tinted windows on it, leaving the basketball court. But yeah, he was pulled over. And after we had just had the conversation yesterday afternoon, 17 years old, prayerfully, my father happened to be behind him. So he pulled too and was able to find out what was going on. But yeah, they're out there.
And even with your father being there, they are so disrespectful.
Yes.
That like sometimes they don't even respect the elders, man. They don't even respect the elders. And that's the world that we're living in. So you know what? Maybe this virus is also for people to look at these things and see. Yeah. And I think some people need to look at themselves, man, because I'm telling you, like, if the virus goes away and these conditions that we're talking about don't change, that's a virus right there. That's a virus that has not been cured. That virus is the virus that has been destroying America and destroying what America has the potential to be, only because you are afraid of embracing another human being who wants to get their quality of life, and they want good for their family, but you want to suppress another human being. Like there's something sick about you wanting to suppress another human being because you feel that you're better. Yes. How can you feel that you're better? It's very deep, right?
Yeah. And unfortunately, our leaders are allowing this.
Right.
They put them in office. Here's what we've got.
Now, V, I know you got a couple more questions that's hip hop related. I got to go do another Zoom. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you this.
Me too, man.
Let me give y'all this shit right here. Y'all need to celebrate these teachers. All my people that's teachers help. I was a teacher for a while.
It's happening tonight at 8, right? Yes, absolutely.
Derek is about to go on at 4. All I'm going to say is that these people spend the most time with your children that you don't even realize. I got to say, I didn't realize the amount of time, whether it be my twins or my little girl, that goes into this. And patience. And going through stuff. Salute to the teachers.
Salute to the teachers. Yay. Yes, absolutely.
So, V, you got a couple more questions for me and Doug?
It's a job where they don't appreciate, people don't, it's a very unappreciated job. People,
Absolutely.
they come in there and just yell, why you do this to my son? Why you do this to my daughter? And they're dealing with groups of kids.
Yes.
Groups. So I acknowledge the teachers, man.
Yes.
You know, it's
Doug, let me ask you one question before, because these people might not get you. So we got about 15 minutes. Doug, your best Prince story. Best top 2 Prince stories. You know, by the way, people don't know that Doug was really good friends with Prince, and Prince loved him.
Man.
Yes.
Super friends, man. Well, yo, man, one quick one, man, is that one time out there in LA, he called me in the middle of the night, and he asked me, it was for something like the Golden Globes, and Prince would call me any time of the night, man, 3, 4, 5 in the morning, and he knew I'd be up. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of way he knew I'd be up. So he hit me in the morning at like maybe 5 in the morning. He said, hey, Doug, man, how you doing? I said, all right. I said, I'm all right. He said, I'm looking to do a party out here tomorrow. Can you be out here tomorrow? So now normally a person needs preparation. You know, you need a little time, whatever. I'm on the phone, and he knows I'm the kind of guy that's like, okay, no problem. What time? So he tells me the time, and he wants me to arrange the whole thing. So I get Kumo D, Erykah Badu is there, Terrence Howard is at the joint, and we set up the equipment. I got another DJ at the
his house?
It's that hotel that has the damn, I forgot. It's like everybody throws events there that's right across the street. You know, I don't know LA like that, but you know.
Is it the Beverly? Was it the Beverly?
The Beverly, yeah, I think, no, not the Beverly, the Roosevelt.
Oh,
Roosevelt.
okay.
Roosevelt. So long story short, I'm up there, I fly in, I get the DJ. The DJ is like saying, now you want me to come now? I say, yo, you got to pack your bag. I call Kumo D, he's flying in. Erykah Badu is already coming in. Terrence is coming in. So then we get to the Roosevelt. When the Roosevelt is popping, you know, now this is all like, he thought of this right now. He asked me right now. None of this is planned. All of this, like, Roosevelt didn't know. Nobody knew. You don't understand? Like, but he's asking me, can I do it? Because he would always give me these interesting little jobs and stuff. So I said, no problem. So when we get there, the equipment is there and everything is there. Party is popping. He's starting at 8 o'clock as the Golden Globes, and he wanted everybody to come over and hang out. So you got Madonna comes in there, and he's dancing with Madonna, and all of this is going on. Latifah comes in, and then out of nowhere, the party is rocking crazy, right, P? So he turned around and he runs up on me, and he be like this, yo, you really turned this thing up, and he whispers it in my ear. And then he walks by and he has money in his pocket, and he takes the money out of his pocket and he sticks it in my pocket. And I'm like, so what is he doing? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hold on.
Yo, like I'm standing there and I'm on the mic. He goes on the side of me and he starts doing his hands a minute. And then he takes and put the money in. Like, I don't know how much money it was. He put it in my pocket. And I'm like, yo, he never did that before. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Prince was feeling good.
Yeah. After it was over, he turned around. He said that was the money that I was going to give to the other DJ, and they wasn't that good. So I thought I'd give you their money too.
I love it. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. That's it.
You gotta love Prince, yo.
Yo, that's a true story. Homeboy said the DJ wasn't good, so I'm giving you their money, and I'm gonna give you your money too.
That's it.
And your money
That's
too.
it. And you earned it. You earned it. You did that.
Hey, man, that was my man, B. I'm telling you, I can go on for days, man, and me and P gonna talk about some other interesting things, man. But he's one of those guys that what you see is what you get. He wasn't pretending. He wasn't a phony. He wasn't acting like that. He was very unique, and he never wanted to let anybody in. And I understand why, because sometimes as artists, when we let people in, sometimes, man, the people you let in, man, hurt you so bad, man, because you thinking that they're sincere.
Absolutely.
But some of them are not sincere. They're just trying to use you. So he knew I was a guy that was very sincere with him, and I would tell him the truth. And our relationship wasn't based on money. It was based on the love and the respect that we have for one another.
That's what's going to live.
And, you know, I gotta say, you know, I know a lot of different artists, and I've been doing this for a while. But the number one thing I respect about Doug is that Doug is about the craft. And, you know, if you've seen this man rock random white, green, yellow essence, whatever. And the people, when you give that kind of energy to people and a true love of your craft, that's how you are able to be in the game for 35, 40 years or whatever it is, and that you don't fall off. You know what I mean? That's that, we call it like that. That's like the Tina Marie, Snoop Dogg shit, where you are timeless. And I appreciate you, man. You know, you need more flowers and shit. Yeah, you need more flowers. I know.
A living legend.
Y'all get it up with Dougie Fresh, yo. Come on, man.
Yes.
Greatest.
A living legend.
Man. Thank you. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it, Yep.
Thank
All right,
you
young
so
B,
much.
I gotta get out. I gotta go be daddy teacher. She got her homegirl over. That's the girl that did the flyer. How you doing, girlfriend?
Yeah, it is. I embarrassed myself a little bit earlier.
No, you didn't.
Yeah,
No, you
Olivia
didn't.
was cueing me, but
I love y'all earrings though. By the way, y'all got the earrings and shit, taking it back in the day.
I
son.
feel like I'm in Brooklyn. I feel like I'm in Harlem, in Brooklyn.
I love it.
I appreciate the love, Angel.
all right,
Thank
thank you.
Look, I'm gonna holler at you, fam.
All right, I'll see y'all later.
All right,
Y'all stay
bye.
safe on Friday. Peace.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye, P.
All right, peace.
Say what?